Hey there, adventurers. I'm Norwolf. Welcome to my role-playing game realm and to episode 9 of my Powers and Perils solo play. So, when last we left our intrepid adventures, Gildor and Raffen had gone in search of the orcs that had been attacking travelers on the road between Gold Edge and the Ketten Mine, so down in this area. The captain of the guard had provided them with some information. Basically, the orcs had started attacking travelers about a few weeks ago. But in the past several days, maybe even up to a week, the orcs hadn't been heard of or seen. They figured they should probably still check out what's going on, and maybe the orcs are still in the area. So they got some rough directions about where the attacks had happened on the road, and they set out. In the meantime, they had paid for 2 more days of accommodations. They expected to be back this next night, and figured they might as well ensure that they had the rooms for some period of time. So they headed out. They spent some time searching the areas just east of Gold Edge for any signs of where the orcs had headed off to after they had attacked the travelers. After some time, they had found signs of orcs heading north, or breaking through the brush, heading north. So they proceeded to follow the old trail. Roughly a mile or 2 into the woods, they heard the sounds of a battle in the distance. Swords and axes ringing off shields, screams of pain, and the meaty thunk of someone getting cleaved. They rush off to where the battle is happening, and they come upon a scene where a number of orcs have a female half-orc cornered in some ruins. There are 3 or 4 dead orcs at her feet, and 2 more in the process of attacking her. All the while, there's 4 others that are either shooting their bows at her or waiting to step in if another one of their comrades falls. So of course, Gildor and Raffen step in to help, and the 3 of them eventually take down the remaining orcs. After the battle, the 2 of them stand a short distance from the half-orc, still wary about her intentions. She wipes her blade off on one of the dead. She grins, and she says, "Now that was a fine battle. I'm sure I would have finished them myself, but I do thank you for your assistance. I'm Mirazan, and I seek asylum in your fine kingdom. I believe my exploits here have proven my worth, and I know there are more of these scum in the woods, and I will be more than happy to help you deal with them. I think I might have also seen a hill giant with them. That could be a bit of an interesting battle, even for myself." So they spend some time asking her some more questions as they look around and scrounge up anything that value off these orcs. They're a little bit wary about her, but they are interested in finding out more about her, where she's come from and why. And once they've got some swords and, well, actually, what did these guys have on them? I think they had basically some axes, some shields, leather armor. They're going to leave the leather behind. They're going to pile up the leather and axes and see if there's enough, if they can kind of split the load between them. And they also search through the orcs to see if they have any coinage or anything else of value on them. So these orcs have 3d6 copper coins each. I'm just going to roll that once and multiply it by the 6 orcs. Well, actually, there was 4 that she killed and 6 orcs that they helped her take down. So times 10. Cheap works. They had 4 copper each, so a total of 40 copper. Right. So, once they've done that, Gildor is going to ask them to gather around, and they will do some healing. Let's get into Gildor and his spellcasting here. Actually, before he does that, he's going to try doing one of his native elf abilities is the read intent of others. Let's figure out how that works. So under the elf, they have this ability called read intent of others. And it says, as for empathetic power, treat as an innate power, the EL equals the empathy divided by 10 round down. So Gildor has an empathy of 37 currently. Round down, so that gives him an EL of 3 in his read intent of others. So we got that much. Now, this has got to be one of the probably most poorly described skills and trying to figure out how to use, but I'll try and make the best of it. And if anybody has a better idea, please let me know in the comments. So if I look at the empathetic powers, I think the relevant part is basically when a successful attempt is made, the creature communed with will not attack. Well, actually, that's not going to be the attacking part. It's going to be basically understanding what their intent is. So what their emotional state or something is about kind of what they're saying or how they're acting. Now, the other piece that it says here is that treat as an innate power. If I go to innate power, oh, right, so that's in here as well. It basically use the rules in 10.12 for innate magic. If this doesn't have a family spell, I couldn't really find another spell that kind of resembles this, so I'm just going to assume that it's going to have a base mana cost of 1, kind of similar to some of the other spells like Quarrels or something else. And we'll look at the 10.12. So innate magic. So the starting MEL, I'm going to base it on empathy. So his empathy was 37, which gives him an MEL 2, and that's in that innate ability. Now, one of the other things about innate abilities is the MEL for that innate ability goes up separately from any other innate abilities or the actual trained caster. So although he's an MEL 4 wizard / Sid magician, he's only an MEL 2 in using this read intent of others. Now, the other, and as I said, I'm going to treat this as a base mana cost 1. And the casting speed is the MEL plus EL. So in this case, his casting speed is going to be 5. Now, if we are to look at spell table, oops, base mana cost 1, EL 1 spell. Oh, and the other thing about innate abilities is you can't vary the strength of the casting. If you have EL 2, you cast it EL 2. If you have EL 10, you have to cast it EL 10. So he has an EL 1, and like I said, I'm treating it as a base mana cost 1. So it costs him 5 mana to use this ability. Base mana cost 1, EL 3, 7 mana. And he gathers 5 mana per phase. So basically in 2 phases. I'm not seeing this as actually gathering mana, is because an innate ability actually uses his energy level and not his mana. So that 7, use this ability, 7 points will come off of his energy level. And because there's no manifestation or mana or anything like that, I'm going to treat it as more of he's just concentrating on the person and listening to them, as opposed to gathering mana and some sort of visible ball of mana appearing in his hands. And the chance of success on the MEL2 line minus is EL times 2. And what else is there? I think that's about it. It was minus 6 is 3. So he's reading her intent, and she does actually seem to be very genuine about hating and these disgusting orcs. He is definitely telling truth about having been pursued by these guys and attacking them, and her desire to rid the world of the other orcs that are in this area, and even that hill giant that she thinks that she saw. So, anyways, Gildor whispers this over to Raffen, and the two of them kind of shrug and say, "Well," they proceed to introduce themselves. So Gildor Moonbrin, of course, and Raffen Dreeve. Actually have a handy little picture put together of these guys just to kind of remind everybody what they look like. We can find it here. We have Gildor, Raffen, and Marizan now. All right, so let's get into the spellcasting piece. Okay, actually, before I do the healing spell, let's give him the experience for this. And that is, like I said, tracked separately. I'll have to figure out what the minimum experience points is for MEL2, but he will gain base mana cost heal, so 3 times 1, so 3 experience points, or magic experience points. And he will gain 2 expertise in this spell. Actually, no, sorry. The EL is based on his empathy, so that 2 will actually be added here to his MEP. He'll get a total of 5 magic experience points for that. Now, he is going to use one of his mist powers, Healing Mist. He can use his Tongue of the Cid, supernatural language for this, and he has EL 80 in that, so he has to roll less than 80, so 74, he does it. So that means that he can cast that at EL 1. Oops, EL 1. It is a base mana cost 3 spell. Oops, actually, let me probably take that 7 off of here. And so base mana cost 3 at EL 1. It's going to cost 5, but the supernatural language reduces that by 20% round down, so it's actually going to cost him 4. He is MEL 4, casting EL 1, he gets 3, so it's basically going to take him 2 phases to gather enough mana for the 4 points. He's going to use 4 points there. And he is subtracting his EL times 2. So subtracting 2, and he's trying to get less than 47. 33, so he's successful. Let's give him his experience and expertise for this. So, EL 1, so 3 times 3, 9 magic experience points. Give him 1 characteristic for that, which he will add to his, let's add it to his empathy, 38. And he will get 6 expertise points in his Healing Mist. Now, what does Healing Mist actually do for us? Since he cast at EL 1, he can do, actually he's doing a double cast, double the mana cost. So it's actually -8. And what that does for us, Healing Mist, there it is. So Healing Mist. Caster generates a greenish mist that surrounds the specified individual until the desired effect is achieved. So this mist may be used to heal damage, replace lost energy, or negate poison. The person affected is comatose and immobile while the mist works. Now, casting it at, using the option here to cast it at double cost, the radius of the spell, So I cast a double cost. The radius of its effect equals the range. So it's 1 inch around him, or 10 feet around him. And every entity in that area is affected by the curative factor. They are not comatose, and when it is used in this way, it can only be used to heal damage or replace lost energy. So we're healing damage here. And so basically it'll heal all of them up to full, unless something interrupts them, but that's probably not going to happen. So Gildor is down 5 points, which he gets back. Raffen is also down 5 points, which he gets back. And she is down 21 points, which he gets back. So that is kind of a handy spell if you've got the time to cast it, or time to sit there, relax, and rest a bit and cast it. So that is done. So they, like I said, they gather up the miscellaneous items that they found off these orcs, and kind of split the load between them. Actually, I'm thinking Raffen and Marizan probably take the bulk of the load. And they, knowing that they need to kind of replace her armor, probably look at replacing their armor as well. I think it's worth them picking up another weapon or two. They're going to head back to town and spend the rest of the day traveling back to Gold Edge, and then setting themselves up for the night. And also, Marizan will, although she gets some strange looks. There are a few half-orcs in this kingdom, not that many, but they're not completely unheard of. Usually the ones that do appear in this kingdom come from the kingdom to the northeast, where Marizan fled from. So actually, speaking of which, let's get a little bit of background on our illustrious Marizan here. So Marizan is a half-orc warrior from the kingdom to the northeast of the kingdom of Ketton, as I mentioned. There's the pass up here in the northeast that is kind of the gateway to that other kingdom through the mountain range that's here. She was trained by one of the finest swords masters in that kingdom and has the potential to be an exceptional warrior. However, she has always been at odds with the culture and motivations of the kingdom. She has recently fled, defying her master's commands, and has been pursued by a band of orcs ever since. So basically, she describes that she's came through the pass, kind of snuck through in one of the caravans. Once she was clear, she broke free of them, and I'm not sure how the orcs made it through, but there's still some trade. There's some things that are going on between these two kingdoms. They're not formally at war yet, but there's definitely some unrest between the two. Anyway, so she broke off from the road, trying to lose the orcs that were trailing her, and she's kind of made her way down through this kingdom here, kind of avoiding the main roads and any sort of settlements, because she wasn't sure how she'd be received. And somehow ended up down in this area, and just so happens that the band of orcs that were chasing her are also part of the same clan of orcs that were down here and trying to disrupt some of the movement of minerals and fine metals and gems and stuff that are coming out of the various mines here. So, anyways, that's a bit of her background. Basically, she's looking to join this kingdom and her kind of put her capabilities or her combat prowess to use in thwarting the bad guys in the other kingdom. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. So, anyways, all right. So they make it back into town. They just head straight for the inn. They pay for her room for the night, plus the next night, because they're anticipating they'll be back the following night. So that's another 10 off. And yeah, so basically the next day, we are on the, that completes this day. We are on the 8th of June here. Let's find out what happens with the, I guess we should do our previous day stuff. I'm notoriously bad at that. So previous day, skill gains. We have been traveling through the forested hills, and I was being generous here and giving a point in both forest and hills if they can go up. So +1 to hills for Gildor. And Baffin is maxed out. Means he gets +2. Actually, Gildor gets +1 for the one maxed out. And Marzan is maxed out on both of those, so 2 more combat experience points. Food points used. I guess I should add in Marzan there, and she needs 3 points. Rafa needs 4, and Gilder needs, and the horses need a total of, actually they're being stabled, so we're not using their grain or feed or anything like that. They will need, they use a 6 total, 3 each. Clean that up. 3. Okay. Cool. All right, so what equipment do they need? They will sell off the equipment that these orcs were carrying is not your typical kind of barbarian orc sort of stuff. That's actually finely crafted, like decently crafted, so, typical axes, shields, and whatnot. As I said, they left the leather armors behind because they were all cut up and bloodied, but they cleaned up the axes and the shields and the bows. So they had I think these guys had. There was, let's see, 8 orcs with so 8 shields, banded round shields. And 8 axes. I think it was axes. You sure? And 2 bows. What does she have for ranged weapons? She has a longbow. All right. She doesn't need a. Actually, she will keep one of the bows, so they're only selling one of the bows. And basically going to give them half price for these things. So the axes are worth 6 copper coins each, so 3. 24 coins. The banded shields. Oops. Where is my other armor? Okay, so let's flip over to the PDF, I guess, for a sec. So banded round shields are worth 3 silver coins each. they are getting 12 silver coins for the 8 banded, or for the 8 banded round shields. The bow is worth 5, so we'll get 0.5 silver coins. Let's see. Builder is going to buy another set of banded ringmail, as is Raffin, and we'll actually buy 2 sets of banded ringmail for Marizan. And get rid of the one that's kind of broken on her. So 4 sets of banded ringmail. So 4 sets of banded ringmail. Going to be 10, 20 silver coins. 20 silver coins. We're going to buy her this shield is okay. Raffin shield is good enough. Hers has 4 damage on it. We're going to sell her bandit shield and buy a new one. So bandit heater shield is going to cost 6 coins. You'll get 3, so you'll just pay out 3 silver coins for the new one. That. Great. And so we bought her a new one of those. Damage there. And have an extra set of armor now. She's back into some nice clean armor. What else? She's got food. She has 4 days of rations. Or 4 rations. That's basically just over a day for her. That's not very useful. Let's get her at least a couple more rations here. Travel rations. 1 brass bit per food point. Get her up to 6. Let's get up to 9. So we'll get 5 more. 5 more. So 5 brass bits. We'll just take that off the brass bits here. Tally up our here. So 12, 15, 19, 21.5. So plus 21, plus 5. That. And I guess we'll figure out how we want to split some coin up here before we start getting her in this party, or whether she's going to stick around or not. I guess I haven't quite decided yet, but I have a feeling that I'll maybe just add her into this group and have the 3 of them traveling around for a while and see how that goes. So great. Yeah, so after they've got their extra weapons, that's right. So let's see here. She has her magic bastard sword, magic broadsword, and she has a regular bastard sword. I think we'll stick with the 2 weapons for her for now. Proficient in axe. Hoping she is. Yes, she is. Okay, so Worst case is we know the orcs have axe, so if she breaks something else, she can snag one of the axe off the orcs once they find them. Raffen has a broken bastard sword, so he's going to get rid of that and buy a new one. New bastard sword is going to cost him 12 silver coins. So again, we'll just take that out of party treasure. So he has a bastard sword, his magic bastard sword, miscellaneous other stuff. So he's set. Gildor has an axe. Kind of boring. What else can I get for him? He's basically proficient with axe and a tulwar. Why does he have a tulwar? Why does he? You know what? Let's buy him a tulwar. Use it. Actually, roll the availability on this one. 60%. There is not a tulwar to be seen. So let's buy him another axe. Guess we shouldn't have sold one of those axes. All right. We'll buy one back for three silver coins. And he has an extra axe now, so I'll tidy up the inventories on these guys afterwards. And they proceed their way out of town. Well, again, they head back down the road. They kind of know where they're going now, so by mid-morning they're back to where they break off from the road, head northwards into the woods. And they've left their two horses behind. They'll probably have to buy a horse for Marizan if she sticks with the group here. I'm kind of keen on having the extra fighter just to it just means I can throw some bigger nasties at these guys and maybe get some leveling going a little bit faster here, particularly with Gildor and his magic. I'd like to provide some more examples of how the magic works and get into some actual magic crafting. So. Okay, right. So they are back up the road here a bit, heading up into the hills, and starting to look for where the orcs may be holding out or encamped. So they'll start the searching. Again, Gildor, as usual, has the highest EL, and he will see what he can see. Keep following the trail. I think it's going to be fairly easy. So unless he's rolling like, because this seems to be kind of the area where they've been tromping around in, and he has survival of 9. Skill use, like I said, it's probably easy. So that's a 90% if I remember correctly. Problem solving, easy, actually times 2. So unless I rolled, well, actually it was an automatic success. So, and he can't get any more in survival in his. Well, you know what? They are kind of traveling more up into the hill area here, which is less forest. So it still would have been an 8, so 160% chance. So let's give him his, give him his 4 by 10 worth of expertise points in hill survival. Oh, and you know what I didn't do is give him the carrying from the previous day. And of course I jumped away from my steps here. As usual. Too eager to get into the action rather than following through on my weather for this day. We roll our 2d6 on June. We got a 3. So 3 will take us up and over. We are over here. We have a cloudy day with windy cloudy day. So easy enough traveling weather. They're kind of through the forest into the hills. They'll survive. Not getting blown over or anything. So mana regen. And energy level regen. So mana regen, he gets 4 of his 8 back. And energy level. Here is energy level. Movement. Gotta be here somewhere. Oh, energy level. There it is. Without some healing lost energy points is done by rolling against your constitution and subtracting your mana level from the roll. If the result is okay, so rolling against his constitution is 39. Subtracting his mana level, so 12. He did not gain any of his energy level back that day. Okay. We had a chance of getting bonus +2, total d6 plus 2 points back, but didn't. Try again tomorrow. I have to do natural healing. There's no healing, no spell casting, no knowledges or anything yet. He'll be casting his knowledge in 4 weeks' time, and they head out. Oh. Okay. Caught up on the daily steps. Now, so he's followed the tracks. He's going up ahead and trying to stay silent and hidden. Now that they think they're getting close, yeah, he's gonna move up ahead and see if he can kind of scout out where the orcs might be hanging out. So let's get into that part. So we are going to do ambush rolls here. The idea is that, oops, wrong book. The idea here is that they're creeping up on where these orcs are, and the orcs likely have some sort of scouts or sentries in the area. So you're in the hills, base chance 25, plus the highest EL, which is 8, 30, 33. They do not ambush the orcs. The orcs have a 25%, and the orcs do not ambush them. So, encounter distance for the hills is going to be d6 plus 10 hexes away, so 10-foot hexes here. we have 14 hexes, so 140 feet. I'm going to flip over to running this in Fantasy Grounds, and we'll see what kind of a battle is happening here. Basically, off in the distance, they can see 4 orcs that have spotted them. The orcs are armed with axes and shields. That doesn't happen. It happens not to be any archers with this particular group, but they think they hear some crashing of trees and something coming through the trees off in the distance, somewhere beyond these orcs. So hopefully it's not the hill giant, but I guess we'll find out. So let's flip over to Fantasy Grounds, and we'll run through our next combat. Right, so we have before us the encounter between our illustrious trio and the orcs that they see off in the distance, roughly 140 feet away. Actually, I just realized I set this up wrong, as I only put them 70 feet away. Let's give me a sec to fix this. Okay, that's better, but it's a hell of a long way away. So that's using, again, hexes that are 5 feet. Just because of how, as I mentioned in the last episode, how the range of 0 means that the 2 combatants are in the same hex. So it's just easier to use 5 foot. In that case, when they're side by each, they're essentially in that same 10-foot space. And so we start with phase 1. And as usual, phase 1 we do mana allocation, then missile fire, then any magic effect, and then movement and melee. So I'm going to have Gildor shoot his bow at the first orc that's in at the front there, while everybody else is going to be basically moving forward in the next round, or next phase. So Gildor has using his longbow, EL5, at 140 feet, is going to be a long range, so it's on the minus 18 line. He's subtracting 5 from his roll. So on the minus 18, subtracting 5, not a very good chance, but the heck, 96, not even close. Right, so we do movement and melee, or melee. Starting with our illustrious fellows down here, they will go 1, 2, 3. I think they're only moving 3 in the first phase. So Raffin has phase 1 movement rate 3. Marizan, phase 1 movement rate 3 as well. I think I called her Mirazan last time, but Marizan with an A. So she's moved to there, and these guys have phase 1 movement rate of 3. So 1, 2, 3. They're just all running up with the rest of them. That's the end of phase 1. Phase 2. Raffin is taking another shot. He is... That's 120 feet, so still on the long range. Minus 5. 95. Wow. Get the big rolls out of the way now. And we have... you know what? These two guys are going to fire their bows at the front orc as well. So 115, so 120 basically. And 115, so there's both on the minus 18 lines. Raffin has minus 5 to his roll. 36. Pretty sure that's a miss. Yep. And Marizan has a minus 7 to her roll. 41, that's also a miss. We'll keep track of arrows here. You know what? I'll just pop up arrows later. And the other guys move. They're going to this round, this next phase. We're in phase 2. And phase 3. Again, Gildor is shooting at 100 feet, 110 feet. Still medium range for long range for Gildor. -5 to his roll. -1 on the -18. So that is a hit. Not a shield hit, at least. A hit is going to be a d6 plus 2. Plus 2. Why is that a big bonus? Oh, I'll trust it. Anyways, d6 plus 2. 7 points. Wow. So 7 points to the lead. He has armor value 1 and natural armor value of 2. So he only takes 3 points, or 4 points. With Gildor and the bow. Right, meanwhile, Raffen is at 105 feet, so that's the medium range or long range still. Raffen was -5. That'd be a 13. 8, that is a shield hit. I doubt Raffen can damage the shield. 6 plus 2. Well, that's a chance of doing 1 point of damage. Nope, not with a 1. The angle on this dice right here. Right, and then Marizan with her bow. Again at long range. And that's a miss. And this is phase 3. So these guys are moving 3 again. Oops, 1, 2, 3. As they get peppered with arrows flying at them. So, phase 4. Gildor, you are at 95. So you are now in... Oh, what the hell was I looking at last time? He's actually at medium range. Oh, I was looking at the bow. Whoops. Oh, my mistake. Anyways, medium range. They're at 100 feet. Line 0. Wow, I should have been rolling on the -10. Well, live and learn. Minus on the 0 line with a -5. Going to be a miss for Gildor. Raffen is also at medium range on the 0 line with -5. That's a total miss at 98. And then same thing for Marizan with a -7. And that's a total miss. And our orcs move up. Range move 2. 2 and 2. Okay. Phase 1. Gildor, you are at 85. Still 90 inches, 9 inches. Medium range. Oops. Gildor, there you are. Medium range. And of course, the 0 line at -5. 94 is not going to do it. Raffen, sure you're at medium still as well, because you have to get down to 70 feet. 70 to 75. So it's 80. Next move, they'll be into short range. And you are 0-6 with a -5. That'll be a 1. That's going to be a severe hit. With a severe, Raffen is doing a D10 plus 4. So D10, 9 points. But we are subtracting 1 for the armor, 1 for the helmet, and 2 for the natural armor, so 4. 6 points get through. Is Raffen with the longbow. And, let's see. So, Marizan, for -7. The 1 is going to be a miss. I'm not doing the fighting more than one opponent because I'm just going to assume that that's when they're actually in melee. And then we have movement melee, so their orcs are moving. This is phase 1, they're moving 3. And we are into phase 2. So he is at 70. That's range of 7, so short range on the +8 line. Oops. Gildor. Oops, Marizan. Where are we here? Gildor. On the, what did I say, +8 line. Short range for a longbow. 87 is not going to do it. So Raffen shoots. 48 minus 5 is going to be 43 on the +8. That's going to be a shield hit. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. Actually, if I remember correctly, missile fire can't actually damage a shield. And Marizan. -7. Jeez. Not doing much either. And then they move. This is phase 2, so they're moving 2. And now we are into phase 3. We'll check the ranges here. We are at 6 inches. We're still in short range on the +8. Now, miss. Raffen. That's a miss too. And Marizan. 79. That's going to be a miss basically. And we are moving 3 this round for these guys. Okay. Right. Next phase. Phase 4. The second turn. Gildor, your guy's at 45, so that is going to be 5 inches. Is that right? I think 45. 0 to 10. Yeah, that's going to be 5 inches. Still on the meat of the short range. 9 minus 5 is going to be a 4 on the +8. That is just about a deadly. So Gildor is doing D10 plus 5. That is not right. Because it should be without strength added in. Should be these D10 plus the strength bonus. No strength bonus. Weapon strength bonus, 1, and half the EL round up. So 3, 4. Means the hit here should be 6 plus 1. And the other guys when I get to them. So D10 plus 4. So basically a D10 because the armor will take out, ouch, 9 points. Or whatever is left on this guy. Which means he is 5. BTB minus 3, so that's going to be minus 8 for Gildor with the longbow. And this guy's down. So let me wipe out orc number 1. And we got a nice little blood splat for him. Okay, Raffin is shooting at orc number... Actually, let's shoot at orc number 2. He is 45, so that's still at 5 inches. Medium range. Raffin is subtracting 5. The miss. And Mirazan is shooting at the same one, and she totally misses. She's probably, she's supposed to be better with this bow, and yet she's probably been rolling the worst. And they move up. They move 2. And we are on to phase 1 of turn 3. So Gildor is shooting at that guy at 4 inches, which is going to be longbow 4 inches is short range on the +8. The 38 on the +8, that's going to be a shield hit. We're not going to worry about it. Raffin, you are at 35, so that's still 4 inches. 30 minus 5, 25 on the +8. That's going to be a hit. All right, so let's double check Raffin's damage here. D6 plus weapon strength bonus. That should be a D6 plus 1. Probably means 6 plus D6 plus 1 as well. And that's a 1. All right. So Raffin, you were doing a D6 plus 1. 2 points, which basically bounces off the natural armor and the armor they're wearing. So that does nothing. And Mirazan on the +8 line as well. And she's, I don't know what the hell she's shooting at. She's shooting at the birds or trees or who knows. Maybe she's just trying to distract them. So they move another 3. Whoa, what's going on there? 1, 2, 3. And I think these guys are going to be switching to weapons next round, and Gildor is going to... What is he going to do next round? We're on phase 2. You know what? Let's double check what kind of spell Gildor might be considering here. So Gildor knows. Gildor is going to... Does he want to do Smokeless Flame? Or does he want to try something? Challenge here is the range. So they'll basically be... You can spend two phases gathering mana, and that should put them within 2 inches of them. So if he wants to do Smokeless Flame, so let's double check what Smokeless Flame works out to here. So Smokeless Flame, he has a language for. We could potentially cast it at EL3. Base mana cost is 4. Go up to an MEL4, EL3 is going to be gathering 4 per phase. So he could cast it, if he manages to use his language, he could cast it at EL2 within 2 phases. Alright, so that's, and if he doesn't, he's going to be casting at EL2, and it's going to take him, which means he'll cast it at EL1. Okay, so that's what he's going to do. Smokeless Flame gives him, I think EL1 or EL2 will be in range. Smokeless Flame. So EL1 will put him in 2 inches or 3 inches at EL2. So that's going to be in range for either spell. Cool. Let's keep that handy. Right. Phase 3. Mana allocation. Ildor is using his language. So the Tongue of the Giant at EL60. And he doesn't succeed, but he doesn't do an Abysmal Failure. So he's casting it at EL1 still. So he is gathering mana this first phase. So MEL, base mana cost 4. Needs 6. EL1, he's gathering 3. Mana to start. And you know what? I'm actually just going to quickly double check the supernatural language use. Okay, so supernatural language. Basically, here's its cost. Increase the EL by 1. Abysmal Failure will just add, we'll subtract more, which he did in Abysmal. And expertise gain. Okay, so we still cast the spell at his regular EL. Or is trying to, anyways. Okay, so that's mana allocation, missile fire. There's no missile fire. Movement and melee. So these guys charge up to 3. Phase 3. They're moving 3. 3 and 1, 2, 3. That guy didn't quite make it. All right. So the one thing I added to the character sheets here is the attack priority. So the attack priority again is based on the little table down here. So the lower the number, the sooner they go. Raffen has an attack priority of 5 with his magic sword, and Marizan has an attack priority of 4. So she's going first, then Raffen, and then all the orcs with their axes. Even though if they didn't have magic swords, the heavy swords and axes have the same attack order, but the players always go first. So we will start with Marizan. Okay, so she's on the on the +5 line. He's adding or subtracting 7 for EL and 6, so she's subtracting 13 from her roll. And he's gonna successfully miss. Actually, it's a shield hit. D6 plus 6. She's got a slight chance of breaking the shield. Doesn't do it. So, Raffen, you are on the +6 line. You are subtracting 6 for the EL, subtracting 4 for the magic sword, so -10 to the roll. 35 on the +6 is going to be a shield hit. You are doing a d6 5, 8 points. Well, that's going to damage the shield, but I'm worried about that. And then we are on to the orcs. So orc number 2 is swinging at Marizan because they don't like her. So they are OCV 5 versus her DCV of 8, so they're on the -3. She has a shield skill of 2, which counteracts their EL of 2. So they are just a straight minus straight roll on the -3 line. 54. That's going to be a miss. And Raffen, DCV 7. Oops, wrong guy. Raffen, DCV 8. They are on the -3 line for him as well. 42. And he's got a shield skill of 1, so 41 with their skill. That's going to be a shield hit. Pretty sure they can't damage his shield. Actually 11. Actually, it's sitting at 9 right now, so I guess they have a chance of damaging it. That's going to be 2, 3, 4 with the axe. So that's going to bounce off the shield. And we are done that phase. Phase 4. Mana allocation. Gildor gets the last 3 points he needs. And he is going to try and cast his heal 1 Smokeless Flame on orc number 2. I think. Yeah, orc number 2. They have an MDV of 4, so he's adding 4 to his roll, and he's subtracting 2 from his 4 line, subtracting 2, and his spell fails. A worthy try, I guess. Great. And back to movement and melee. So that last orc moves up and attacks Marizan as well. He's attacking first. He says, hey, concentrate on this orc in the middle. To Raffen. So on the +5 line, subtracting 13, but adding 2, so subtracting a total of 11. And that's a miss. Raffen on the +6 line is subtracting 10 plus 2 for the shield skill, so I'm subtracting 8. Wow, 70. Jeez, I gotta get better at these combat rolls. And now they get attacked back. So orc A on Raffen, orc number 3 on Raffen first. 42 on the -3 line. That's probably going to be a shield hit. He does 3, 4, 5 points, which is enough to do another point of damage on Raffen's shield. And the other 2 guys on Marizan have an additional -5. They are actually just subtracting 5 from their rolls. 5 on the -3 line. No, yeah, -3 line. They're on -4 with Raffen. There. The -3 line. So that is going to be a severe hit. I think she's got extra armor with her. So 7, 8, 9 for half the EL. 10 with the 10 points of damage, which means the armor blocks 4, so 6 to the armor, 6 to her. The other guy also got a -5, 45 or 35 on the -3 line. It's going to be a miss. Right. Phase 1. Alright, Gildor. You will try the same spell again. You are doing language. 14, it works this time. You have options. You can gather 3 mana per phase, and I thought it was all right. 3 mana per phase. You're going to and you're reducing the 6 to 5, which means you're only going to use a total of 5 mana here. So it still takes 2 phases. So he's gathering mana this phase. 3 gone. Back of his mana here. Four. And now we're into Muni. So on the +5 line for Marizan. Come on, you can do better. -11 to her roll. It'll be 3 on the +5 line. So it's still a severe. And she is doing a D10 plus 10. So it's actually going to be D10 plus 4, or plus 6. So 11 points of damage get through on number 2. Marizan with her broadsword. That's a nasty hit. And because the 2 of them, actually it's another -5 because the 2 of them are attacking. That'd work. Oops, the number 3. This is number 3. This is number. And the 2 of them are attacking him, so that's actually been a deadly hit. Which means she did 3d10 plus 11. 3d10 plus 7. 10 to this. So that's what? 11, 18, 20, 20 a bunch. Does 1 point of damage to her sword. And that's going to be enough to actually kill this guy. So 5, 3, 18. I had it right the first time. This is number 2. Okay. And Raffen, oh well, actually, he can still swing at the same work because it's their attacks are considered simultaneous, and he can still kind of hit it and also damage his weapon. So he's on the +6 line with the minuses. -5, 9, and 15. -15 +2, so -13. So he's at a 9 on the +6 line. So that's going to be severe. And he does D10 plus 8, D10 plus 4, severe hit. 7 points. So he gets credit for 7, even though she was the first one to hit it. Raffen with the. Okay. Right. So the orcs attack. 1 orc on Raffen on the -3 line. 26. -1, so 25. Shield hit. Raffin's shield takes a point of damage. And against Marizan, they are the -3 line, and so no subtraction, so 92 is a miss. Good. We're on to phase 2. So, Gildor gathers his last 2 mana, casting his Smokeless Flame at EL1. Got effective EL of 2, so he's subtracting 4 and adding 4, so he's net 0 on the +4 line. 32, it works. So an EL1 Smokeless Flame, I'm going to do 3d10 plus 4. And he's going to cast it on the one in front of Marizan, I guess. 3d10 plus 4. Oh, that's not great. 8, 9, or sorry, 10, 11, 15. That is going to be enough to incapacitate Gildor with. He's basically semi-conscious on the ground and no longer attacking. And I think he can still crawl or something like that. But I think Marizan is still going to run him through. So just to finish him off. So his defender is not fully conscious, -20 the roll, and so -20 minus a whole whack. He runs him through, or maybe not. Guess I have to actually calculate that. So Marizan, what was I saying? He's no longer defending himself. So the shield doesn't come into play. So she is doing -13, -30, -33. -33 on the +5 line. So 86, that's what, 53. The shield hit becomes a hit. He is doing, or she is doing, dice 6 plus 6 plus 3 plus 6. He actually does 6. He does 3 points because he only had a DTV -3. So that is Marizan with her. He is definitely dead. Okay, Raffin. Raffin is swinging at his. The orc does not surrender. A Katothi who absolutely hates these elder guys. So Raffin, you are minus, I say, 610 -8 to his roll. 35 -8, 27. On the +6 line, it's going to be a hit. I'm going to get something out of this. 6 plus 5, so 9 points. Less 3. 6 points. 3 is bad. And that guy swings at him on the -3 line. That's going to be a miss. Phase 3. Gildor is listening to the area because he can hear something crashing through the trees. And get into Yumi again. So Marizan will move up and attack the orc. So she has a -5, -16 to her roll. That's going to be a 33. Oops. 3 on the +5 line is going to be a shield hit. You can potentially break the shield, actually break his shield. 10 points. Nope, that's exactly what he needs. So she had to get over for 10 to break it. They're 8 + 2 with the skill. And Raffen has -13 to his roll. And he misses. And Brooke swings back at him. -21 on the -3. That's going to be a hit. D6 +2 plus D6 +2. Ouch. 8. He blocks 6 of that with his armor. Oops. Or he only blocks 2 of that, so 6 go through to him and his. Nasty. And what else do we have here? We have next round. I think Gildor is going to, with his axe, move in and try and strike this guy. But we're going after these other two because he's got just a plain old axe, not magical, and he's going in type priority 7. Okay, starting with Marizan. Again, -5 and minus. You know what? He can actually get one more farther. So he was back there. 1, 2, 3. He'll at least get a flank on his attack. The other two get -5s. Oops, Marizan. What did I say? 13, 11, +5, 16. -16. 42. -16. Going to be what? 26. Hit. Again, she's doing a D6 +6. 11 points. And that is going to be 11 less 3, so 8. 8. And with broadsword, that's what, 14. He's still standing. Raffen swings. 64 on the +6 line. Going to be a shield hit. And he doesn't damage the shield. I guess Gildor will get a swing here. So Gildor, with his axe, EL3, he's subtracting 3, no shield from behind. More than one opponent, -5. Taken from the flank, -10, so -15. -18 to his roll. Oops. So what's that? That's going to be 18 on the 17 on the OCV +3 line. 17 on the 3 line. It'll be a regular hit. D6 +2. 5 points, which 2 get through. Enough to knock him down. Unconscious. This is Gildor with his. Cool. So that guy's down. Oops, wrong one. Oops. -2. Gildor. Yeah. That's 18 points. Yeah, he's 6, 14, 16 points. He's down. Yeah, he's basically gonna be. that's the end of that phase, but at the same time, from 1-2 to the north, or sorry, 1-2 to the west, 3-4 to the north, 5-6 to the east. From the west, something comes crashing through the trees. And it looks like a big honking hill giant, standing about 18-ish feet tall, 200 and some odd inches tall. So this guy is a massive dude. Let me get the stats on him. I'm going to make him a regular 1 times. They are going to be interesting how this battle goes anyways. So the hill giant has 52 hit points, OCV 15, ECV 3, the weapon index 2, strength bonus of +4, movement rate of 12. So what is that? 8, 3. Natural armor value of 1. ETV of -7, and he fights with the star there, means he fights to -7. He doesn't drop and semi-conscious. Size 6, PDF 6, MDV 8, and yeah, 208 inches tall, 832 pounds on average. That's for forest giant. Hill giants have, of course, I show you actually showing you this, but yeah. So that's for forest giants. That means forest giant gracious. They favor human and sit flesh. Fighting these creatures, they fight until the enemy is killed or they die. And let's see how this goes. For hill giants prefer to hunt in proximity to the lairs. Within 1 mile, the area is generally cool. Great. Let's see how this goes. That was the movement in that last phase when that hill giant showed up, kind of towards at the end of the whole thing. So we are in phase 4. Well, this should be interesting. So phase 4, mana allocation. I think Gilder's got to move up a bit. So we are. I think we are going to, in the movement melee phase, we'll move up here and we'll do our movement melee, I guess. This thing will charge up, and I guess it's attacking the first thing it comes to. Oh, actually, 1, 2, where was he? He was here. 1, 2. We didn't quite make it to them. There's no reach or anything of the equivalent in this game as there is in that other game. And so that is it for that phase, for phase 4. So phase 1, Raffin is definitely going to be gathering mana. He's chanting in his language again, or trying to. He's doing another smokeless flame. Under the sit. So he needs a 60%. Come on, Raffin. 52. That's good enough. So his language works. He is so he's effectively casting his spell at EL 3. So again, for his casting choices at EL 3. So he is gathering 4 mana per phase. And base mana cost 4. He's going to cast it at Oh, actually, he's going to cast it EL3 because he's got a 20% reduction, so that means he only needs 8. Gather 8 this phase. Or sorry, 4 this phase. What to roll against. Okay, and then we get into melee. With an OCV of 17 and up, these things are going on 2. Or this thing is going on 2. So he goes first. Oh, actually, he's not close enough to attack. Sorry, that is a good point. So that is it for that phase. No, sorry. The movement. This is the next phase. So movement melee. He steps forward and attacks Marizan. This should be real interesting. He is a DCV of 8. So he's on the +10 line. He's got a shield skill of 2, so he's subtracting 2, or adding 2 to his roll. His natural weapon index is 2, or is -2, so it's 0. So he's 0 on the 10 line. 58. That is a shield hit. So he is doing D6 plus 4. That's a D6 plus 4. 8 points, and that is more than half, so that's going to damage 1 on her shield. But it blocks the damage. Right, she goes next. CV of 3, OCV of 8, so she's on the +5. She is subtracting 13. Oh, let's do our movements because there's going to be multiple guys attacking here. Raffen has in phase 1 a 3 movement rate, so he's going to 1, 2, 3. I don't think that's a flank. Actually, yeah, that is a flank. These 2 hexes here would be flank. These hexes here are the front-facing hexes. He's got a flank attack anyways. And a -2 for multiple, or sorry, this is her attacking. So this is her attacking. So she's got -2 for the multiple opponents. Or sorry, -5 for the multiple opponents. And -13. So -18 to her roll. Oh, that should be interesting. So -18, that is going to be a 6 on the +5 line. So that's going to be a severe hit. 6, +5 line, severe hit, D10, +10. Oops. 6, 16, natural armor value of 1, so 15 points. 15 for Mirazan with the sword. That makes it 230. Hooray. Raffen, you are flanking and your multiple opponents. So flank, -10, multiple opponents, -15. And what else? -10, so -25. That is going to be a deadly hit. The flank, it doesn't get modified otherwise. He does 3d10 plus 9. Not so great. So 9, 9, 18, 22 points of damage. 21 points get through. He damages his sword again. Did I say 21 points get through? Minus 21 for Raffen with his bastard sword. That makes that 6. Is that right? 37 off of that. 36 off of that. Yeah, that's right. Right, and of course Gildor is gathered his mana this phase. So next phase, Gildor's got 4 more. So Gildor is subtracting 6 and adding 8, so adding 2. Adding 2 to his roll. And 79 fails. Oh, well, it was worth a try. And that's those two. Next phase. Oh, sorry, not next phase. Ruben Mealy. Alright. Giant dude. He is 1-4, swinging at Marizan, and 5-6 Raffen. Stays on Marizan. So he's on the +10 line with no modifiers. 17. 17 on the +10 line. That is going to be a severe. So D10 plus 4. 14. Ouch. And she is subtracting. So 10 points get through. She swings back at him with a minus. Did I say minus 18? Ooh, -1. That's a deadly hit. That is a deadly. 3d10 plus 11. 3d10 plus 11. 21, 23. 23. Can she do 23? Yes. 3. That puts it at -7? Which is exactly at his. So he's still standing. He is still fighting. So Raffen has a pretty good chance of finishing him off here. Raffen will move around behind. We get a rear attack. Full whack of minuses. Go roll and then figure out how much I need to subtract. Oh, it's dead. That's goes from. With that, it goes from so deadly hit is a fatal, and he's got minus a whole whack. So this thing, and this was the same round, so he can actually do well. Let's actually roll his damage, so we know how much experience he's actually going to get from this. So that would have been a deadly hit otherwise. So 3d10 plus 9, and he's probably going to damage his sword in the process. So let's 3d10 plus 9. 18, 9 and 9, 18, and 8, 26. So he will do 26, 25 points. Raffen with his. And it's dead. Cool. All right. So those guys are dead. They will search the bodies, gather up any sort of. Get rid of the bit there. They will gather up any sort of bits and pieces from these guys. Again, the axes, shields, they'll hang on to. The 4 orcs will have 3d6 copper coins. Guys are a little richer. They have 14 each. And where's my handy piece of paper? What's that? 30, 42? 4 4 is 18, yep, 42. 42 copper coins. Now our hill giant, I don't remember if he has portable treasure. Giant, no, the hill giant doesn't have any lair treasure, or and as such doesn't have any portable treasure either. So, all right, let's do our experience. Okay, let's start with Marizan. So he's got 18 times 2. 18 times 2, so she's got 36. This is combat experience points. 8 more times 2 for 18. And 3. 2 for 6 points. Now on this guy, he's got 15, 28 times 6. So it's 120, 68, 40, 168. And who knows what the hell the total is for that. He gets this guy hit her shield. I think he did. Damn, forgot to write down whether or not he hit the shield. All right, I'm gonna say he hit her shield. So shield, that's the CDF times 2, so 12 expertise, and with her broadsword, 12 expertise. All right, Raffen. Raffen, you get 6 times 2, 12. Oh, and that's going to be a shitload of characteristics. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 200, and 6, 12, 20, 26, 226-ish. So 5 characteristics. Okay, Raffen. You get 6, you get 7, so 14. More for 12. And, oh shit, I did Raffen's here. 106, 20, 28. Oh, hang on. 21, 25. 46. That was 46 times. Did this wrong. Hang on. He did 15 and 23, so 38. 38. 200 and something. 128? Some such thing. Anyways, he did 46 times 6. 146. 276? Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Anyways. He did not get a shield hit, so he only got the shield hit from the orcs, which means 4 piece. Going to be 6 characteristics. And his bastard sword is going to be 12 extra. Cool. Ildor, with your longbow, you did 4, which gives 8 points, and you did 8 more, gain combat experience. And smokeless flame, that doesn't count. For your smokeless flame, get a base mana cost, heal 2. Cast that at 2, 4 times base mana cost 16. And the MDV, 2 times the 4 piece in that. 2 failures, that's 2 more partial expert. Yeah, 2 more piece for the 2 failures. Experience. You will get 1 characteristic and characteristic for the 24 points of damage here. Not so great for him, but the other 2 warriors came out like champions. So I will add these in for into the character sheets for the next time. Meanwhile, these guys will proceed ahead and follow the trail back carefully from where the orcs were coming from. And up ahead, they'll see as they hide in the brush up ahead, some distance away, they'll see a cave opening with an orc standing in the cave entrance as he coming in, basically doing a bit of a patrol, coming in and out of the cave every so often. And we are going to wrap it up here for the night, or for the day. So anyways, thanks guys for joining me. Our illustrious adventurers here have found the orc camp. It actually is a cave that they seem to have set up a shop in for the moment. And we'll see what comes of this next time around. So anyways, thanks for joining me. Hopefully this was interesting. And hope to see you next time.